Hi, everyone. My name is Suzanne, and from all of us at the Rails to Trails Conservancy, thank you all so much for tuning in for the fourth and final of our Celebrate Trails Day virtual series. Over the last few weeks, we've held these conversations with our partners to explore some of the ways trails contribute to the well-being of people like us, places, and the planet, so that you all will feel inspired to get outside on Celebrate Trails Day, which is happening this Saturday, April 27th. If you missed any of our earlier virtual events or need a refresher, Celebrate Trails Day is our annual springtime celebration of America's trails. Since 2013, we've teamed up with our partners to plan trailside events and bring this celebration to communities across the country. Celebrate Trails Day is so much more than a day outside, we like to say. It's really a time to come together to celebrate the joy and the impact of trails and trail networks that are all over the countryside. Which is why today I'm very excited that our conversation is all about the joy of being out on the trails and ways to celebrate this Saturday and honestly keep the party going all throughout the year. To help get everyone feeling excited and ready to hit their local trails this weekend, I'm joined by Shelly Douglas, the Executive Director at Green Columbus, my fellow member of Team RTC, Quentin Batts, the Project Manager for the Baltimore Greenway Trails Network. Welcome, both of you. I have a few questions I can't wait to ask you all, but first, we want to know a little bit more about all of you. So Shelly, can you tell us a little bit more about Green Columbus?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. Green Columbus is located in central Ohio, and we are a sustainability focused nonprofit. We're focused on volunteer engagement, equitable tree canopy coverage, and building resilient communities. So I think we have a lot of similarities with Rail to Trails Conservancy and your mission. And so we're just really excited to be partners.
Yes, absolutely. Trails in the outdoors, best friends for life. And Quentin, can you tell us a little bit more about everything that's happening there in Baltimore?
Sure. Thank you for having me. Like you said, I'm the project manager for the Baltimore Greenway Trails Network. And in the city, that's pretty much a vision to connect the city's natural spaces, parks, landscapes, and schools connected by trails. It's a 35-mile loop around the city that accompanies all the current trails and a few prospective trails. So that's something that we think would really be good for the city and something the city deserves.
Yes, absolutely. As I was saying, in addition to the individual trails, we're also celebrating those trails when they connect. So that there's extra power and extra energy that goes behind that. And I know, Shelly, that where you all are going to be celebrating trails, there are a lot of awesome trails that just a lot of awesome trails in the area. And with that in mind, I was hoping you could tell me a little bit more about what you're planning for Celebrate Trails Day. How are you marking the day? What's going on?
Absolutely, yeah. So we are very lucky to have a lot of rivers and trails and things like that here in Central Ohio. And on Saturday, we are going to gather at, it's called Genoa Park, and it's actually right on the river and right off of one of, the main trails in Columbus. And in collaboration with Celebrate Trails Day, we're also going to celebrate Earth Day. So Earth Day was this Monday. So Green Columbus always hosts a citywide Earth Day celebration, which happens to be the same day as Celebrate Trails Day. So we kind of thought silly of us to host two separate events on the same day with, such similar goals and, populations of people that we hope to engage. So Celebrate Trails Day takes over the north end of the Earth Day Columbus celebration. This will be the third year of this collaboration. So all day on Saturday, Celebrate Trails Day 11 to 5. They're going to have a bunch of partners out there tabling. We're going to have a little bike rodeo set up for kids who want to give it a try and, have some grass and whatnot so it's not so scary. We're going to have a bike valet being run by our Celebrate Trails Day partners for people who want to be a little more sustainable and bike on the trail to the celebration. And there's actually going to be a group guided bike ride leaving from the Earth Day celebration itself. So Celebrate Trails Day is excited that, they can show people how to access the trails from this location and It's really cool because it's directly downtown. So, you can take the same trail kind of right through downtown, through all the buildings along the river, and then end up in a park in 10 minutes. So, we're really excited about, the new people that will be coming out this Saturday to celebrate. And of course, in addition to all of our partners, we're going to have food trucks, we're going to have live bands. There's even the Performance Dogs of Ohio are coming, and they're going to do some tricks. They have a corgi that performs with them, which I think is very unique for agility training. And so it's family friendly. We just want everyone to come out and get outside.
Oh my gosh, I love all of the different programming and fun activities from the rodeo to the to the corgis. That's so exciting. And it's a lot of fun, but it's also such a great way to invite everyone to come outside, to get out on the trail, to see how trails and the environment and the outdoors, they all come together. Trails can help you access these places. Trails can be a part of your climate action, your stewardship. So that's super exciting. And for those of you who I know will want to know more about the corgis, but cannot be there in person, although we hope you do go if you're in the area, RTC is super excited to be sharing all day on our social media channels how people are getting outside to celebrate. And we really can't wait to highlight all of the elements of these events, but we'll definitely do our best to make sure that the corgis and everything else that's planned gets a chance to be spotlighted. And Quentin, I know that you're also going to be very busy for Celebrate Trails Day. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you have planned?
Sure thing. Now I have to make sure I can top the corgis. Let's see. In Baltimore, we have a few events that's happening. We have two events that's focusing on our Gwynns Falls Trail. One of the communities that has a prospective trail idea is hosting a community cleanup day. It just so happens that our Celebrate Trails Day falls on the mayor's annual cleanup day. So a lot of our spaces has incorporated that into their events. And we were also leading a joint bike ride that's hosted by Black People Ride Bikes and Catonsville Rails to Trails. And that ride will have two starting points where they will both meet up at the community cleaning day in Gwynns Falls. So that's something that we're truly excited about. We have two events that are colliding together, so it's going to be a big joint celebration for a little while. And then later on in the day, we'll be heading over to Northeast Baltimore, where one of our partners, Glen Oaks Community Association, is hosting a family fun day. And this is pretty exciting because that park is a new addition to our trail network plan, but it was a project that was initiated out of community visioning. And they came and sought us out in finding ways that they wanted to activate their park and make it more livable, usable, lovable. So this event will host a cleanup in the morning, and then later on in the day there will be a big party. They're going to have some food out there. They're going to have some family games, fun. This park already has a basketball court, a large field, so they're going to have a competitive kickball game for the community. So we're really looking forward to highlighting some of these events and making sure our partners have a good day out on the trails.
Oh my gosh, both of those days sound amazing. I'm really happy to hear that snacks will be involved at both of the different events or at all the events that you mentioned. It's going to be a lot of fun things going on. You want to keep your energy high. And I really appreciate that you both brought up how much the community is invested or just a part of these events. They're behind these events, they're coming together on these events. We really feel like trails have that power to bring people together, whether it's your dog or your loved ones or your neighbors, they can all come together to get outside on the trails together, to use these spaces and to enjoy these spaces that are in their own backyards. And again, love these trail connections. Walter Greenway Trails Network, the Great American Rail Trail, the cross country trail goes through Ohio. So there's a lot of really exciting things all coming together on the same day. And it's all worth celebrating. And with that in mind, we know trails bring a lot of joy and benefit to our lives in many ways. So I was wondering, is there something in particular that you all personally are really looking forward to celebrating about trails? And if there is a special trail that you'd like to highlight, please feel free to shout it out. We know that that's a big part of what makes them special. And we'll start with you, Shelley.
Yeah, that's a tough question because there's all kinds of things to celebrate. But I think I'm looking forward to um, seeing how trails impact folks who maybe aren't around green space a lot. So we're, like I mentioned, right in the middle of downtown Columbus for our celebration. And so we have communities that don't have a lot of trees or are not located near a park. And it's something that we're working on citywide. So to see maybe some people come out who haven't yet had a chance to enjoy the trails, kind of learn why we should care. Not, of course, I care about the earth because we're Green Columbus and it's Earth Day, but how it impacts us and how things like trails are good for us and our physical health and our mental health both. Um, and how important it is for strong communities to have these things. So I think I'm looking forward to um, trails bringing new groups of people together. And of course, the special trail that I'm thinking of is the Scioto Trail, because that is the one that connects to where our celebration is. And it's actually Columbus's first Greenway Trail. So something that we really care about at Green Columbus is tree canopy. And so it's really interesting to take the Scioto Trail and go through, some beautiful forested areas and then straight through the heart of downtown and kind of see how the landscape changes. And it also gets people on the trails that maybe didn't set out to, they didn't drive to a trailhead. They didn't set out to do this, but there are bikes for rent, and it connects right in downtown where all of our restaurants and things like that are. So I think it's a really unique way to get people out there for the first time.
Oh, that's wonderful, very poetically put. And I will say the Scioto Trail is gorgeous. I haven't been able to go there myself yet, but I've seen so many photos. So if folks are not familiar with it, definitely look it up. You can use traillink.com, our RTC's free trail guide, to see it and to learn more about other trails across the country. So that's really great. Thank you, Shelly and Quentin. I know it's hard to pick one. Pick.
Hmm. Yes. Let's see. If I had to pick one, I would like to say my favorite is the Herring Run Park Trail. So this is a trail located in Northeast Baltimore in Herring Run Park, which is one of the larger green spaces and parks in the city. It has everything that you would want to see in a park: playground, animals, untouched land, water streams, and the trail runs along the water stream and just highlights all the amenities that you wouldn't locally see in a city. That's one thing that folks normally don't associate with Baltimore is outdoor space and green space. And located right across the street from the park is Lake Montebello, which is a highly used space for everyone just to walk, the dogs, jog. So the park having a trail just highlights even more amenities and outdoor opportunities for all the local neighborhoods and schools just to have more access to good, clean green space.
Oh, that's great. Also a beautiful trail. So it sounds like you're celebrating that is green space outdoors in the city, that you can get around to all these different places. And I heard that from you too, Shelly. It's a way to connect to fun destinations beyond the trail itself, which is an amazing experience. And it's a good reminder that for anybody who's interested in participating in Celebrate Trails Day, of course, there are many fantastic events planned across the country, as you've heard from Shelly and Quentin. But if there's not a trail event happening near you, or if you just want to get out and do your own thing, that's all we want, get outside, enjoy your local trails. There are tons across the country. We're hoping for more every day, but it's just a great time to explore the community where you are and to get to know your local trails. And for me, I will say the thing that I'm really looking forward to celebrating, or that I want to extra celebrate on Saturday, is the fact that my local trail, helps me commute to work. It's my moment of zen in the morning, my moment of calm relaxation in the morning. I could skip the bumper to bumper traffic and get to see the pretty trees, any of the pets passing by on the trail, my neighbors. It's my moment for me in the morning, and it's really great. So again, whether you're practicing your commute or getting to a fun event by active transportation, or doing one of the many fun activities that we've heard about today, Celebrate Trails Day is a time that welcomes everyone to get outside and enjoy their local trails. So something I've heard from both of you thematically is that, you know, the Celebrate Trails Day happily brings together a bunch of different observances, really. We've got Earth Day, it's Earth Month, National Park Week is coming up. There's just a lot of focus on these spaces and why they're important to people. And with that in mind, I was hoping you both could answer, why do national observances like Celebrate Trails Day matter? How do they make a difference? And Shelley, I know again, Earth Day is a big one, so I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. So, we believe that things like, tree canopy and access to green space and trails is like almost a right. And so our communities that do not have that in Columbus through, historical disinvestment and other things that have happened in our city, we want them to feel as though, they deserve to fight for these things, that they're experiencing an injustice because they don't have the same access to these natural spaces as other people do. And so I think that through Celebrate Trails Day and of course Earth Day, these are things that we should care about all year long, but by amplifying it, for a certain day, I think it reminds us that, if you do live close to a trail and you have access to that, like that's a luxury. If you have access to an equitable tree canopy and things like that, that's a luxury that some other people don't have. And I think it reminds us, I should go out on my trails more. I should appreciate them more because it's not something, everyone can just take for granted. And I think that it also gives it a fun way for new people to get involved. And I know in Columbus, we have a few groups engaging youth in Celebrate Trails Day. So along with Rails to Trails Conservancy, we have the Remember Us Urban Legends and Black Girls Do Bike, and Girl Trek, and several other groups that are leading bike rides for youth or walks for youth. I know they're getting food vouchers for the kids who show up to and participate. And so I think instilling that in the next generation is really important because if you learn to appreciate it at a young age, it kind of sticks with you rather than trying to learn it later on in life, which we hope that the kids go home and maybe they can teach their parents something new and kind of involve them in their new passion.
Absolutely. We think trails and these outdoor spaces where you can safely get around and get outside and get to where you need to go are essential to communities. And we love that we get to celebrate that and all of the other ways we get to celebrate that concept and that future opportunity, right, to make more of those spaces and connect more people to these spaces that, as you were saying, are just really important, and can help people live happier, healthier lives. So, and great for the environment too. So that's really wonderful. And again, I just love to hear about all the ways that you all are celebrating on the day. There's so many opportunities to get outside and do what you love to do. And it's a day of fun, absolutely, but it's also a day of really big impact. It makes a difference. So Quentin, what about you? What do you think national observances like Celebrate Trails Day matter?
Yes, to build on what Shelley just added, that sounds like a mirror of Baltimore. These days like this are truly important for the city. It not alone just exemplifies folks having fun in these spaces, enjoying these spaces that they have access to, but it also highlights the disadvantage of a lot of communities that has been separated by transit products, highways, missed disinvestment. It really shows that having these spaces can reconnect communities while also educating them on what access they actually have. A lot of neighborhoods in the cities that we're working with, a lot of them could live on an adjacent part of the park and not even know that there's a trail there. So it's more so about educating folks on what they have and then finding ways that we can engage them with the trail to keep them active on it.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. And just so folks know, being a part of Celebrate Trails Day has already taken action. It's raising the visibility of these spaces. As Shelly was saying, it's highlighting that that trails, that these outdoor access points are in your neighborhood and they welcome you. But there are other ways to take action too if you would like to continue to support all of this great stuff that's happening. I know Rails to Trails has a national petition that encourages the connectivity of trails and communities across the country, but I know a lot of local groups too have ways that you can take action. And so in addition to supporting trails nationally in these spaces nationally, we hope you'll also take a moment to get to know about your local trails and ways that you can help support them, whether it's volunteerism or raising your voice. There are so many ways to get involved on the day. And I think that's such a perfect segue into this next question, which is, Celebrate Trails Day. We really want people to have an amazing experience so that they will make trails ultimately a bigger part of their everyday lives. We're not saying you have to use them every day, although that would be amazing. But we do hope, whether you're new to trails or you're a longtime user, Celebrate Trails Day inspires you to get outside, use trails more often, invite a buddy, invite a friend to take them with you, make them feel welcome in that space. And this national moment is really about showcasing the value of this type of infrastructure, trails and safe spaces to walk, having those in communities. So I wanted to ask both of you, what is your hope for Saturday? What do you hope people take away from the celebration, from joining you at your different events? Shelly?
I hope that everyone meets someone new, one, because that's kind of the whole point of our collaboration is, just can we talk with someone new and can we find a similar, passion for trails and the outdoors. But I also hope that people see kind of how many different people utilize trails and how it really is one of the very few things that's common amongst all of us. The benefit of nature and the benefit of trails. And I hope that they see that it's not just Rails to Trails Conservancy who cares. There are City of Columbus tables in the celebration. There's regional planning teams in the celebration. There's, Green Columbus has, we're planting trees. We don't really have anything to do with that, but we've all found this one common denominator. But we're all very different. So I just hope that that comes across in our celebration.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Trails connect us, and there are so many of us that they connect, right? Including the different partners, whether it's your city or the local trailside business. We can all come together in these spaces and to, again, bring that visibility. So I love that, Shelly. Yeah. Invite somebody, meet somebody new. We think that's so great. It's a friendly space for all. Quentin, what about you?
Yeah, this Saturday, I'm really just looking forward to seeing new faces, familiar faces, but also making sure folks connect with their neighbors. I think this is a great opportunity for residents to see the work that we're doing, but also see the work that their fellow neighbors are doing within their communities. I think that can be one of the biggest things that comes out of this, and I know that that's a goal for one of our groups. In Chinquapin Run Park because they're in the process of creating a friends group. So they hope that their family fun day can foster that relationship of citizens wanting to be out in the park more, out on the trail more, and pretty much create a new cohesion in the community where they can continue to work together moving forward.
Wow. I love that. I think this conversation alone, but also all the virtual event conversations we've had before this, really helps to spotlight and showcase that Celebrate Trails Day, a day on the trail, is so much more than a day outside. And we believe that any day on the trail can help make a difference in our lives. And before we wrap up, I've kind of a fun ask for both of you. I'm hoping you can fill in the blanks about what a day outside on the trail means to you. Starts with, I see more than a day outside. I see. Shelly?
I see relief. It's relieving to be outside, especially with the craziness of Earth Day season here at Green Columbus.
Yeah, amidst all of that planning, I'm sure your time outside, your time on the trail is also a moment for you. That's great. Thank you. And Quentin, what about you? I see more than a day outside. I see
Happiness. I think it's going to be great to see all the smiling faces of the kids enjoying the park and just creating new relationships. I think that's the most important part of how trails bring people together.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you both. This conversation brought me a lot of joy today. Thank you so much for joining me. We hope everybody checks out what's happening in Columbus, Baltimore, and places all around the country for Celebrate Trails Day. Again, there are a ton of really awesome events planned, but we also, hope you'll just explore and learn more about the trails near you. As I mentioned, RTC is a free trail finder called traillink.com that you could use to learn more about the 41,000 plus miles of multi-use trails across the country. A big thank you again to our partners, the ones here, of course, but all the ones who are part of Celebrate Trails Day, as well as our incredible 2024 sponsors and supporters of the celebration. Thank you all so much for making Celebrate Trails Day possible and for making this year extra special. We hope to see everybody outside for Celebrate Trails Day. If you're getting out, please do share on social media. Again, RTC is going to be resharing, amplifying all the fun that's happening, the corgis and beyond on the day. You can go ahead and use hashtag Celebrate Trails to share how you're getting outside to take part in the celebration. We'll share some links if some already have been shared in the comments below if you want to learn more about Celebrate Trails Day, but you can also just go ahead to railstrails.org/celebrate trails to learn about all the fun ways to take part. So thank you again, Shelly and Quentin, for all of your time today. We can't wait for this Saturday.